Okay, folks, so you're here to hear about the Ripened Gardener. And I developed this presentation as a result of my own physical limitations, which has made gardening more challenging over the years. First of all, before I begin, let's give a round of applause to Kim, who is our outgoing Vice President. I also researched what others had to say about the topic, including our previous presenter, Leah Pullman, who spoke 2 sessions ago. You may already know much of what I'm about to share, but the question is, do you actually implement it? Sometimes a refresher course is what it takes to help you make your gardening experience fun again. So, briefly, we all know that gardening is very beneficial. It's an enjoyable form of exercise. It increases our level of physical activity and maintains mobility and flexibility. It encourages uses of all motor skills, increases endurance and strength. It improves well-being, providing stimulation and opportunities to interact with others, such as coming to our garden club. It's always fun. Helps prevent diseases such as osteoporosis, decreases stress levels, and helps people relax. And if you grow produce, it can help provide nutritious homegrown produce for healthy eating. Now, the Ripened Gardener approach starts with taking a walk around your garden and looking at it from a different perspective. You want to keep what makes you smile, you want to remove what makes you frown, and you want to replace it with something that takes less work. And if that's all you remember when you walk out the door, you're ahead of the game. Now, you want to lay out your garden for less work and more enjoyment. So you want to have lots of seating areas that include comfortable places throughout the garden to provide you with rest and relaxation. Benches or chairs with back support can be strategically placed and to allow for breaks. Oops. Let me go down here, scroll down, come on. That allow for breaks and contemplation. You can use raised and vertical beds. Sorry, it's not my computer. I'm having to figure out. Here we go. Why is it not going down? Hang on a second. Well, the computer doesn't work. Use a printout. Because I don't want to miss anything. Okay. So, planting, maintaining, and harvesting vegetables without straining your back will make your garden a pleasure rather than a burden if you use vertical beds or raised beds or containers. Vertical beds provide color and accessibility without back strain. Ornamental containers elevated from the ground, whether at your front door or in areas where you spend time relaxing outdoors, allow you to garden more easily. They can punctuate areas you've simplified, whether with hardscape or plantings that require minimal care. You want to use containers as large as your space and budget allow. You think about the time required to maintain a 4-inch pot versus a 24-inch pot. The smaller pot requires daily attention, and the other gives you wiggle room, except for the hottest and the driest at times of the year. Plant shrubs. Choose those that colonize and take over bed in lieu of perennial plantings that require more time to maintain. Carefully chosen, they can add interest the entire year. From lower growing plants such as a fragrant sumac to larger options such as Carolina allspice, these are plants that will shrug off deer, drought, and poor soil, filling space and adding interest without adding maintenance. Once you've planted shrubs, add ground covers to complement them. A sunny hillside planted with Oregon grape or ornamental grasses can be underplanted with moss phlox or sedum. Both will battle erosion and look beautiful throughout the growing season. Choose creeping phlox or bugleweed other than bark under an old planting of rhododendron or boxwood and create a pretty vignette. A shady spot under a tree can hold ferns and Canadian ginger. Both options look beautiful, suppress weeds, and obviate the expense of spreading bark mulch year after year. But keep in mind, for fire safety, you want to avoid bark within 5 feet of any structures. Ensure that pathways in the garden are wide, level, and free from obstacles. This allows for easy maneuverability, especially for those using mobility aids such as walkers or wheelchairs. And if you label things, use large, clear, and easy-to-read labels and signage for plants, tools, and pathways. This helps you easily identify and locate different elements in the garden. And choose plants that are low maintenance, the right size for the spot as they mature and look great. Okay, now let's see where we are. Now, the other thing is to outsource when you can. You don't have to do it all by yourself. Be creative. You don't always have to employ a gardener, which can be expensive. For those one-time needs, you might ask a neighbor to help. And here are some suggestions. Last week, somebody had a posting in the West Linn Gardeners Facebook page. This person had a large vegetable garden that she could no longer manage, and she was looking for somebody who wanted to grow vegetables to use her vegetable plot. So you can be very creative, and they can use the plot, and in return for your providing the water, you might get some plants out of it. Choose tools that you can use. You want to choose ergonomic tools with handles that have an ergonomic shape and are padded and cushioned for a comfortable grip. This helps reduce strain on the hands and wrists. You want to opt for lightweight tools that are easy to handle and maneuver, including reducing the risk of fatigue and muscle strain. Tools with longer handles or adjustable lengths can minimize the need for bending or stooping, making them more accessible for individuals with limited mobility. And tools with non-slip or textured grips provide better control and stability, improving safety during use. So, some examples. You can see here the trowel has a curved handle rather than the straight one we're used to. Extended reach pruners have adjustable length, non-slip handles. An ergonomic garden hoe has a paddled handle and a longer reach. Lightweight rakes have lightweight construction and ergonomic handle. You can consider assisted devices for gardening. A garden kneeler provides a cushioned surface to protect the knees while kneeling or sitting. It can also be flipped over and used as a low seat for added support. Or keep a stool near your garden for breaks to ensure that you don't overwork yourself. Raised beds eliminate the need for excessive bending or kneeling, making gardening more accessible for seniors with limited mobility. They can be customized to a comfortable height and designed to accommodate various plants. I have 10 raised beds that are 3 feet wide, so I don't have to stretch too far, 3 feet tall, so I don't have to bend, and 10 feet long, and I have 10 of them. So that's a lot of gardening space, which I discovered after I put them in. Long-handled tools, such as long-reach pruners or weeding tools, allow you to perform tasks without excessive bending or reaching. These tools provide greater reach and reduce strain on the back and joints. Wheelbarrow, equipped with ergonomic handles, allows for easier transportation of tools, soil, plants, and other gardening materials. The handle provides better grip and control, reducing the strain on the back, wrists and the back.
And I would recommend wheelbarrows with 2 wheels in the front rather than just one.
Yes, they're a little more stable. Yes. And choose bright colored tools, so finding them is easier. Avoid green tools because they blend in with the grass. Use a tool caddy for all your tools and gardening supplies to avoid making multiple trips. Caddy options come in the form of a tote bag, on wheels, or basket to attach to your wheelchair. Now, there's some safety precautions. You want to protect against overexertion. So you want to start slow. Now, we're into the gardening season, so you should have done this a little earlier. But you begin with short gardening sessions and gradually increase the duration as your stamina improves. Before starting any gardening task, spend a few minutes stretching and warming up your muscles. And that's how we're going to end today. So you're going to have a little participation at the end here. Use proper body mechanics. Lift heavy objects with your legs, not your back, to avoid straining your muscles. Use a kneeler stool if it's comfortable for you. Try kneeling with just one knee down. If you're squatting, remember to keep your heels on the ground. Consider using assisted devices such as carts or wheelbarrows to move heavier items, or better yet, ask somebody else to do it. Take breaks. Schedule regular breaks to rest and hydrate. Listen to your body and don't push yourself too hard. Set an alarm on your watch as a reminder. And alternate tasks. Vary your gardening tasks to avoid repetitive strain on specific muscle groups. I didn't do that about 2 months ago and ended up having a very sore arm. It took 6 weeks to get better because I overused it. So I got to take my own advice. Take breaks from activities that require repetitive movements such as weeding or digging. You want to protect yourself from the sun, and you want to make sure you drink fluids. Wear protective clothing. Opt for loose-fitting, light-colored clothing that covers your arms, legs, and neck. Don't forget to wear a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses to shield your face and eyes from the sun. Before heading out to the garden, apply a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher to exposed areas of your skin. Reapply every 2 hours or more frequently if you're sweating or in contact with water. Drink plenty of water before, during, and after gardening to prevent dehydration. Consider keeping a water bottle nearby to remind yourself to drink regularly. And avoid gardening during the hottest parts of the day. Provide shade areas to work in during the summer or hot times of the day, and provide places to sit in the garden and then use them to take breaks. Remember, gardening is meant to be a joyful and relaxing activity. By taking precautions, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable gardening experience. Now, as we get older, it's not uncommon to find yourself in pain or sore from doing tasks that used to come easy to you. The older you become, the more likely you are to experience a severe injury when gardening. You're also going to want to simply listen to your body. Carpal tunnel can flare up when you repeat the same movements. Don't forget to switch things up from time to time and make adjustments when your body tells you to. The aches and pains that come from a life well lived can be exacerbated by gardening. Everything from staying on your feet too long to having to apply pressure when using gardening tools are great ways to take some of the joy out of a prosperous hobby, if you're not careful. But when the pain becomes too much, medication is often required. Some of the things that show up: neck pain, shoulder tendonitis, lower back pain, carpal tunnel, arthritis, and strained or pulled muscles, as well as kneecap bursitis. So what to do is you stretch beforehand, you drink plenty of water, you don't forget to take breaks, you'll need knee pads and other gear to help you take some of the pressure off your body, and avoid lifting for objects that are too heavy. Never be afraid to ask for help, and if you must lift, always do so with your legs, not your back. Also take care in the use of power tools and to attend to cuts and bruises and insect bites immediately. With or without tools, your hands can lead to cuts, scrapes, and bruises no matter how careful you are. So be sure to exercise caution when using gardening tools, particularly those that are sharp, pointed, or have a motor.
I think a good pair of gloves.
Yes. Experience a laceration that is deep enough could require immediate medical attention. Failure to do so can be dangerous, as you shouldn't be bleeding in the first case, but you also run the risk of becoming infected. This can lead to further, more severe complications. You want to avoid heat stroke, so you avoid doing work during peak hours of the heat. Even if you stay hydrated, which you should do regardless of the time of day, working in peak hours is a recipe for disaster the older we get. Plants generally love the sun, so working in the shade isn't always realistic. But having a shaded area to take breaks is a great way to still enjoy the outdoors in a safer manner. Alcohol only complicates the problems that come with the heat even further. It can also lead to other problems stemming from impaired coordination. All in all, if you're a senior gardener, you should avoid drinking while gardening. The smell is driving, right?
Take all the fun out of it.
Yeah. Those with medical conditions that may make them more susceptible to heat-related illnesses should explore indoor and less labor-intensive gardening options. It's essential to take care of your body to help prevent injuries. And remember, the older you are, the more serious even minor injuries can become. So there's some things you can do if the way you used to garden is no longer viable, or if you live in a smaller place. There are terrariums, which are small enclosed gardens and easy to create in a jar, fish tank, or other transparent containers. These terrariums are very easy to set up and require minimum maintenance. Using terrariums allows you to enjoy the beauty of plants without bending or crouching down. Indoor plants with succulents are very easy to maintain because they're resistant to pests and diseases. Succulents are a wise choice for people who want to enjoy the benefits of gardening without a lot of work. Some popular types of succulents include aloe, jade plant, and sedum. Herbs in a kitchen garden on your windowsill is another way to get a little gardening in. It's also known as edible landscaping, and it involves incorporating edible plants into a traditional landscaping design. It can also be done on your windowsill, and it's a great way for you to enjoy the beauty of your garden while also growing your own food. It saves money and makes the kitchen interior look gorgeous. Some options to consider for edible landscaping outside would be fruit trees, berries, and inside herbs.
Oh, it looks perfect.
Vertical gardening. A vertical garden is convenient for seniors with limited space or mobility issues. They're uncomplicated to create using a range of materials such as trellises, hanging baskets, or wall planters. In a traditional garden, it can be difficult for you to access plants that are planted at ground level, as you may have to bend or crouch down to reach the plants. With vertical gardening, you don't have to do that. The plants can be at a height that is comfortable and makes it easier and more enjoyable for you to tend your garden. Square foot gardening involves dividing a garden bed into small square foot sections and planting a variety of crops in each section. It's a practical option for seniors as it is a small, easily manageable patch that needs relatively less effort to work on. Besides, square foot gardening can also be a more efficient use of space as it allows for more plants to be grown in a smaller area. Now, we get to the fun part. Before we go to the video, I'm going to ask you
You're not smiling there, Sue.
to stand up, get behind your chair, put your arms out so you don't bump the person next to you, or in front of you and back of you.
Move everything here.
And my husband, who didn't follow these rules and got dehydrated yesterday, so he's not here tonight. He is the trainee in the video. And it's very realistic because he doesn't always hear correctly. But so, whoops. I want to get out of that.
Do we need our chair in front of us?
You will need it in front of you.
Oh, it's recording everything that's being said, Sue.
I know. How do I start again? Sure. I'm going to introduce Raina, who is my trainer from the Perfect Workout. She's come up with a few exercises to help us limber up before we garden. So I'm going to move out of the way, and my husband Gordon is going to be the trainee.
Hi, Sue. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Rita. Thank you for inviting me to the Ripened Gardener. I'm going to talk you through a couple exercises to kind of help you get ready for the gardening season. A little bit about me, I do work with the Perfect Workout. We use a super slow strength training method that is helpful for keeping your joints and bones safe during exercise. Gordon, how are you feeling today?
Good.
Good. I'm going to walk you through a couple of things here to help limber you up before you go out to garden. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
All right, we're going to start with some really slow arm circles here. So you're going to hold your arms out at the side of your body. We're going to do big circles, but we're going to keep it really slow. Slow it down even more. Dramatically slow, like you're swimming through molasses. Excellent. And I'm going to start a little timer here. You can use a timer if you want to, but I'd like to do everything for about a minute.
That's a long time.
Good. Feeling okay so far?
Yes.
You're doing great. We are at about
It's not too exciting.
15 seconds in. We're going to keep on pushing here. I'm going to have you reverse and go the other way. So we're going to take it really slow and just kind of do what feels good for you. You're going to take big, deep breaths here, nice and slow. Excellent. Good. We're really going to be taking our time here. Slow it down even more. Think counts of 8 or 9. On the way up and on the way down. Good. And we'll go again. We'll reverse. We'll go the other way, nice and slow. Excellent job here. Last few. Good. All right. Go ahead and relax there. We got those arms worked out. Now we're going to work those legs. So if you have a chair available to you, I'd like you to bring it behind you. And we're going to do something called an air squat, or also known as a sit stand. So you might have to tilt the camera down just a little bit here so I can see what you're doing. Awesome. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to sit down towards that chair. Only go as far as what's comfortable for you. Good. And we're going to stand right back up. And we're just going to kind of keep on doing that. You don't have to go all the way down if that's uncomfortable. You can hover just above the chair, or you can come right back up, whatever feels right for you. Good. So this is one way to do it, just kind of getting those legs warmed up. The other way to do it is, Gordon, I'm just going to have you go about halfway down. So this next time I won't have you sit completely down. Yep, halfway and back up. And this is a good alternative if it's difficult for you to get in and out of the chair, but still get some of that range of motion and get those muscles working. But we're going to take it even slower. Down for a count of 6, up for a count of 6. There we go. Good. Even slower. Nice job. And the slow range of motion really helps you wake those muscles up, and it's easy on the joints. We're going to breathe through it here. You're going to keep your core nice and tight. So what that means is you're going to keep your belly button pulled into your spine. Good. Take your time here. Let yourself kind of feel the movement, really ease your muscles into the movements here. Good. Great work. We are in our home stretch on this one. Excellent job. We're going to get down to the bottom of this next one here. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale as you push the floor away from you. Good. Last one. Excellent work here. Go ahead and relax, and then you take a seat in that chair. All right. Now that your arms are woken up, your legs are woken up, we are going to work on some seated rotations. So depending on how big that chair is, it might be a little difficult for you to scoot to the edge of it, but if you can, please do so. And I'm just going to have you lean back a little bit in that chair so you feel your core kind of tighten up, and I'll have you put your hands across your chest like so. Both hands. Yep, so we'll put both hands up, and then very slow and controlled, we're going to rotate. So you're going to rotate one direction, you're going to rotate the other direction from your core. Yep, and you're going to lean back a little bit just so until you feel a little stretch in your core. Yep, there we go. Good. Really take your time. Excellent job. Inhale on the way back in. Exhale as you rotate to the other side. Good. Really going to take your time here. Really slow in those rotations. That rotation is coming from the torso. We're letting those obliques, those muscles along the sides of your abs, to stretch and contract, allowing for that good movement as you're reaching and moving things around your garden. Good. We're in that home stretch here, last bit. Excellent work.
Feel it in your sides? No.
All right, feeling okay so far?
Yes.
Good work. Let's go ahead and get into our balance exercise. So I'm going to have you stand behind that chair. We'll keep the chair in
She's
front
really
of you
working us.
for some support here. All right. You're going to give yourself a nice solid stance, soft bend in the knees, and you're going to really reach to the left and to the right. You're going to reach. Can you hear me? Yeah, so you're going to stand behind the chair and you're just going to reach to the left and to the right. Big reach. Yep, slow. Take it slow. Dramatically slow. Good. Big stretch here. Excellent. You have the chair there for some support if you need it, but if your balance feels good, we'll just keep on moving here. Excellent job. Good. Still feel okay?
Yes.
You're doing great so far.
She's working us.
Nice work here. Keep that core nice and tight. Belly button is pulled into the spine. We're getting a big reach here. Wonderful job. All right. And for this last one here, we're going to switch muscle groups. One more time, we're going to kind of get that whole body involved. So you can either face the left or right, whichever you prefer. Okay, the hand closest to the camera is going to grab that chair if you need it for support, but otherwise we're going to march in place. So you're going to bring one knee up to your chest, or as close to your chest as you can, and then the other side. But we're going to go really dramatically slow. We're really going to challenge that balance a little bit. Even slower. Let's go. Let's bring the leg up for a count of 5. So from the leg on the floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back down for a count of 5. There we go.
She's
Slow down a little more.
it's very hard.
Excellent. Good. Grabbing that chair for support will help you. We're really going to focus on opening up and loosening up those hips. Really focus on getting those hip flexors engaged so that you're able to step over the things that you need to. Good, you're doing great here. Nice job. Excellent work. And while we're here, we're really going to focus on our breathing. Inhale as you bring that leg up towards you. Exhale as you push it down back towards the ground. Great work. Good. Stay with it here. Excellent job. Go ahead and relax. Good. Go ahead and have a seat. You did awesome today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good. Feeling limbered up, ready to go?
Time for a nap?
So, all right.
Okay, I'll start again.
No. I'm going backwards. I don't understand this. At any rate, basically, that was fun. I'm going to hand these out. This is a list of the exercises.
Oh, good. I want one.
It's a lot.
I think this is a great idea.
So the idea is
All right,
that
you
you
two.
do this in the morning or before you go out to exercise, and if you make it a habit, it doesn't take that long.
I think that's great. Thank
It takes
you.
10 minutes,
Oh.
but you know, then you can go at it. So that's it, folks.
But bravo!
Any questions?
Bravo! Good job. That was fun. It wasn't boring.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. As I said, it's a lot of very practical stuff,
Very
but
nice.
we
Very
don't
nice.
remember it all the time. And
Just a good idea, I think.
you know, I did too much repetitive weeding. My husband didn't take enough water yesterday, so I got very sick today.
Thank him for doing the dummy.
Oh yeah, he was a dummy.
He did a great job.
And
It's a
so, you know, and he's a good example. He, those of you know my husband, he's a very hard worker. He's in the garden 5 or 6 hours a day, you know, with pickaxes.
Oh my
And I
God.
finally convinced him to take an exercise class up at the adult community center, because I said, you're not working all your muscles, you're using just certain muscles. And so it's important to be well, especially as we get older, to use, to
Yeah.
strengthen all these muscles, because we need it for balance, and
Yeah.
whether in the garden or around the house. So any questions or comments or anything that somebody'd like to share?
No, it was so perfect. We don't have any.
Oh. All right, well, this is going to be available on the library's website, and we will also post it on our website.
I did a comment I wanted to share.
It was a very
I think
nice.
it's important about the ergonomics, and we kind of had this with the creaky gardener before, but that helped me realize as I'm pruning to be in alignment instead of kind of bent over. I pressure washed this weekend. Oh, that was yesterday. And even though I'm just holding on the handle, I kept switching sides. It's just that act, I can feel my shoulders tensing up and other things. So even though I wasn't like doing stuff, I'm like, okay, how am I holding my hand? Because it takes a long time to get the moss off the patio, you know? So the repetitive thing, that was helpful in the ergonomics.
So one other thing I didn't include in here, but when I garden, I then fill my tub with hot water and Epsom salt, and I soak like a tea bag, sometimes every day. It just takes the aches.
I just got
So-
some.
That's one of my solutions. Yes, Linda?
I've seen a commercial for a long-handled weeder that's like almost like a claw, but it cuts weeds. Has anybody had any experience with that?
I just bought a weed puller.
Now that it's not-
hoop hoe. I love my hoop hoe for being with.
Diane, you know about this?
We have a couple of long little pullers that, you know, I'm sure you can take a look at when I have an open garden on the 19th. So, I think it's the 19th.
Are they the ones you step on?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I've not found a good one. Are yours, do they work well?
Yeah, looks great.
I just bought one.
Okay.
They might be kind of hard to
You
find.
don't have to bend down.
Yeah, I know. I've had one and I broke it.
CJ is
Yes, that's
a champion thrift store shopper, and I'm sure he or she has picked one up either at a thrift store somewhere.
I got mine on Craigslist.
Oh.
No,
I got
not
mine-
Craigslist, I got mine from Amazon.
I got mine in Oregon City, and it's the same price and on the internet. The old-fashioned type where you step on. $40, $39.
Okay, well, please enjoy your snacks, and in a few minutes we're going to do the raffle. And we have a lot of things to raffle off tonight, so I think everybody's going to go home a winner.